Hey, what's going on,
everybody?
Car Gals? It's Lou Ramirez, the car guy.
And it's Frelin Arts, the subprime hero.
We're so excited to get the day started with you today. Wow, what an incredible day. It's Thursday. We're almost towards the end of an October. What is going on? It is flying by. And if you ever heard a quick brew, I don't know if you have or not, but time is always flying, right? And you need to take advantage of every moment. You need to listen to some of them quick brews. They're all over the place. Check us out on YouTube, and you can see Freddie doing a little bit of dancing, a little bit of explanation, and making sure you get a little something to pour inside of your cup in a quick brew. Get some.
You know the deal. Yeah, it's on a daily. We're going to be doing one today. Matter of fact, he said Friday, but we're going to start doing them together. Unless Lou's not here, but it was really cool to be able to knock one out yesterday together. We were talking about how important everything is in life, and these quick brews, they're for you. They're for you to get a little inspiration for the day, a little quick little shot of espresso, right? This way you can be ready, energized to be positive, pumped of just all kinds of like just everything that you want inside you, right? And I'm not necessarily saying it's the end all, win all, the everything all. It's an opportunity for you to grow. It's an opportunity for you to hear something that's from my heart. And I appreciate you guys for watching and sharing those. But we have a special guest today. We're super excited to have. It's somebody that we've been mixing it with on social media for a long time, somebody that we've been able to follow, share, and grow with and watch their growth. And she is a superstar. She's somebody that's super special. And we got to hang out at Digital Dealer this past week. It was an amazing event. Yeah, you see that right there. Isn't she amazing? She's somebody that really stands out to me when it comes to somebody who cares about her community. And when I'm talking about her community, it's not just the local community, but it's everybody that she's networked with. She's always out there showing care, letting them know that she's there watching what they do. She's getting motivated by people while she's motivating others. So I'm real excited to have her on the show today. It's going to be a great morning. Oh, women in automotive are really killing this game. I love it. They're bringing light to what we do. They're also doing things like showing people that you can be a woman in this industry and be very successful. You can be a woman in this industry and do things that men cannot do. It's a lot of things that women could do that men can't do, right?
Like have a baby.
Which is huge, right? But that's something I'm super not jealous of, but sort of, right? I'd be honest, it's a miracle. It's a beautiful thing, but they are so powerful and they overcome so many things over the last 100 years, over the last thousands of years. But what women are doing right now is amazing. They're speaking for each other. They're lifting each other up. They're loving on each other. They're cutting on they're doing everything they can to make sure that women are lifted up into places that are supposed to be like leadership roles, and being business owners now into the automotive industry, being vendors that come in and helping dealers grow. And they're doing it with such class, such power. And I'm excited to be able to keep talking about this and keep bringing it up and keep being on the forefront of women in automotive. And man, Amanda is special, and I'm so glad to have her here today.
So honored to have Amanda up inside of the cafe with us today because she is upshifting and uplifting. And I got to say, as much as I did appreciate Amanda before we had the chance to hang out with her at this last Digital Dealer, there's an element about her that I honor and I appreciate even more. And that's the example of marriage that I'm able to see with her and her husband. Man,
it's beautiful.
And that is something that, of course, you don't have too many people looking at the car business being like, man, that's a good place to see where good marriages are at. Right?
Are you sure?
That's a hard thing that's on our reputation as an industry. And I'm just so thankful that there's some incredible people like Amanda, like Jay, that are coming together and are finding a way to show what it looks like for people to have a good, trusting, a good, empowering relationship and allowing that to permeate over everything else it is that they touch. So I really want to get this show started. We got to start forgiving, focusing, and flying. We got so many people that are already with us and excited to get this day started. So you know what? We need a little bit of music. Whoo! Here we go. And we got to get this jamming. We have the one, the only Miss Amanda
Sorrell! What's going on? How you doing? It's just like we never stop. It's like we're still in Vegas. Let's go.
Exactly.
What a great time. What a great show that was last week. And it was a great honor to be able to spend some time with you. And it was really cool because I knew that I was going to be interviewing this week. So when I got to see you, I was like, that's my homegirl over there. She'll be on the show next week. It's so dope. It was so cool. And thank you for being there, watching a lot of the stuff that we were doing at the show and then taking pictures and then posting them. That was awesome to see those angles that we don't get to see with our cameras, right? So it means a lot for us when people do that kind of stuff. So Amanda, thank you for honoring us that way also. And we look forward to honoring you today. This is going to be a great show. So how are you this morning?
I'm doing fantastic. Thank you guys so much for having me on. I'm super excited to share with you and to be a part of the coffee crew. Got my mug. I'm ready to go.
Yeah, cheers.
Cheers to that. Cheers to that.
Heck yeah.
We are excited. There's a lot of great things going on in this industry right now. We were just at a great event where we're talking about digital age of the automotive industry, and people are bringing up so many new softwares. There's so many new companies. Walking around that room, I'm sure you noticed like a lot of things that you've never even heard of, or things that we saw that were developing, that were doing good, but all of a sudden completely transformed to something brand new. And it's really neat to see that happening. It's really neat to see the group of people, but most importantly, how dealers are taking it in now. They're like, okay, this all makes sense. This is something that we need right now. This is something that we need to look forward to. We need to look at actually what's going to be good in 5 years, right? Mm-hmm. And that's where you go to these digital dealer events for, because they have technology and people, software writers, and all these people that are just so far ahead and know what's going on and what the pulse is on what's going on with technology. It blows your mind. And I'm sure you got the same effect. Am I right?
Absolutely. And I think they're more open to a little bit of change. I know that's something that some of us in the industry, like y'all and Kyle, have been really working on, getting change acceptable in our industry. So I think what you just said, like they're being a little bit more open to that and seeing the future. Mm-hmm. So yeah,
the transformation is coming, and it's undeniable. There was a big reaction that happened for the dealerships that had to close their doors, run through the entire COVID flow, know what it is to do. And then they got very complacent also when they didn't have to do as much advertising, when people were fighting to pay the most for the vehicles that they barely had left on their lot, right? Now everybody's like, oh, wait a minute, that's ending too. You know what I mean? That's going to change, and things are adjusting. So it's fun to have the conversation, because we enjoyed saying it before on the show, right? When we were like, listen, it's not always going to be this way. Whether it was the first month in to the high gross special extravaganzas everybody was experiencing, we were letting them know, hey, this isn't always going to be. Right. And you still need to pay attention to your advertising. You still need to be attentive to how the customer experience is. But some people love learning the hard way. Us as car guys and car gals, sometimes that's the only way we get to learn things. But it is exciting that we can get to have a unified conversation with people like you that do understand, hey, things are changing and you can listen now, or we can talk about it later. But either way, they're changing, and we're going to be at the head of it. So we thank you for spearheading so many solutions for people.
There you go.
The
yes.
And we are honored to have you in the cafe. Folks that are watching, do us a favor and let's get some more people inside of the
We
party.
need some sharing going on.
Tag
some
a car guy.
Share.
Tag a car guy.
That's the only way you can care, right? So keep sharing. Get people in here, because we have somebody that's super special. We want to hear her story. We want to know how she got to where she's at today, where she got the courage, where she got the confidence, who were the people that blessed her along the way, and what drives her, folks. Are you guys ready to hear the story? I know I am. But before we do anything, we have to do the 3 F's. It's so important, because this is our secret handshake, and I think everybody knows what it is. It's to forgive, focus, fly. You can't forget that. And it's important to forgive, focus, fly. Mm-hmm. If you don't let this weight of unforgiveness get off your shoulders, of all the things that people have done to you, all the mistakes that you've made, all the times that you didn't wake up and get to your appointment on time, the phone calls you never called to the dealers that you're supposed to be calling, it's okay. Yesterday is yesterday. You can't change yesterday. What you can do is change yourself right now. You got to forgive yourself, though. Forgive, let it go, so you can focus on the things that you have to do today and all the goals that you have. Focus on your why. Focus on all these things so you can fly. So you can fly to everywhere you've ever wanted to go, right? And that is the best feeling in the world, is when you're flying to where you want to go. It's much like going on a vacation on an airplane, and you're on your way there and you're all ready to go, right? It's the same thing, but much better. Right? And I'm so excited to have you here. And that's the only way to keep growing. So let's get this thing going with the Forgive, Focus, Fly, and let's rock and roll, man. Let's do this. You ready to jump into the gang?
Woo!
You know the deal.
Go ahead and put your hands on your shoulders one time, and we're going to wipe off that weight of unforgiveness on 3. 1, 2, 3. Forgive.
Forgive.
focus, fly, and keep growing.
Keep growing.
Yeah, now
That's what I'm talking
doing it.
about.
Here
She
we
knows
go.
the deal.
It is time
I
to
love it.
begin.
I love it. And that's how we keep growing right there. And I appreciate
right.
you for doing that with us. You are now a solutionary, my friend.
Officially.
You always were, but now you're officially a solutionary. You've been on the show now. You've done the whole secret handshake. And now it's time to hit you with these 5 questions. And these 5 questions, I'm so excited to get into this because this is how I get to learn a little bit more about you and how I get to see how we go from good to great in life, right? And look at that, Jacqueline. She's amazing. You guys are great. She's special. I could tell she's been ready, just throwing. She loves you. I could see this because the comments she's been putting down. She's just dropping some really good stuff about you, and and she's so on the money. Yeah, that's right. Heart, as we do in Korea, it's his little fingers are here. Heart. Right. So I love you guys. So this is good stuff. So our first question is, it's absolutely a great question. It's what we all need to focus on. It's our why. So Amanda, what is your why? What drives you every single day to wake up and be the best version of yourself?
That is the absolute simplest answer in the whole world. It's my children. It's my husband.
Yes.
I want to build this legacy for them. Something, I was the first person in my family to graduate college. I got 2 degrees out of it. So I'm moving our family into this next level, and I want to leave this legacy and let my little girl, I have 2 little girls. I have a 6-year-old and a 5-year-old, and I want them to know that your mommy did this, and I'm pushing them up to the next level so that they're proud and they can say, oh, look, there's my mom. And that's it. Like, it's 100% my family and this legacy that I'm going to leave and help the next generation. Women in this automotive industry, I know, horror stories as well as some great people, but for the most part, it's not very positive with moms and automotive. So if I can guide them a little bit and help them in this, that's going to be the best blessing in the whole world.
Fantastic. You didn't do too much hunting and reaching for an answer on that one. That was ready to.
She knows what her why is. That's why she's so driven, and I love that you're showing your children. Congratulations on being, you said, the first in your family to graduate college. Is that what you just said? Woo. Wow. That's huge. Just a great, I'm mad props on that. Let me get that high. Woo! That's a big deal. And you are showing your young ladies in your house that anything is possible. It doesn't matter what color your skin is. Doesn't matter what sex you are. It's about being the best version of yourself and going out and getting after it. Now, don't get me wrong. We all know in the automotive that it's tougher for a woman. Let's just be honest. This was a man. I won't even say dominated, but a man predominantly business, right? Because I think that maybe it was dominated by men, but I hate that word, right? It's just, there's a lot of men in this industry, especially older white men. And I'm not trying to, talk smack or anything. I'm just being real. I'm being observant and just speaking truth. When you're talking about upper management, ownership, general managers and all this, that's pretty much what we still see. You're starting to see a little bit of splash of color and a little bit of splash of women and theys and everything out there, right? We're starting to see it, but there's still not enough. And to see that, what you're doing right now, showing your young ladies in your house, especially right there, that hey, look what I'm doing. I'm doing it all, and I'm doing it with pride. And I did it and I went and got my education. I came out. I love this, and I think that it's great for young women. That's what I love about the current world right now. I think that it's really a big talk. We're talking about it, which is huge. I think talking about women doing things like this, talking about people of color doing things like this, people all over the place, people who are diverse. Let's put it that way. Diversity is key in this world right now. Diversity, different views, different eyes, different thoughts about how things should be done is how it needs to be done. We don't need everybody who thinks the same to tell us how to sell cars. It needs to be different people looking at different angles, because guess what? We sell cars to different peoples from different angles. So we need to understand all those viewpoints, and we need to be able to make it into where it's comfortable for everyone to want to come into a dealership and do it person to person. Yeah, it could start digital. Everything's going to probably start digital here really soon, right? It already has pretty much. But then it turns into, hey, how do we get them to want to come in and deal with people? And the way you do that is by offering and including everyone. And that's what's so great about what you're talking about here, and your why, and your family, and your love for your family, and your little girls, especially, man. I love that. Lou has two young ladies. Well, they're not quite young anymore, but they're younger. They're in their early 20s, but those are her daughters, right? And they're women who've come into this world not dependent on men. They're women who are coming up in this world dependent on themselves, getting their education, understanding they have value in this world. I love that. They're powerful young ladies. Both of them are. And they both have their own opinions, and they're definitely strong in their opinions. And I love that about them too. And they would never falter from that. And that's all because of the environment they were raised in. And it was from a mother who's very, very, very powerful woman. I absolutely love his wife, Tiffany. She's a great woman. She definitely does not allow Lou to just do whatever he wants. She wants Lou to do what he wants. There's a difference, right? And so, you know, that's the thing. She's very opinionated. My wife is too, right? And that's really cool. And that's what makes it great for, they had a great example of a woman, much like you give a great example of a woman to your children. And they see that, and they get to see that, hey, we can be confident. We don't have to rely on somebody else. It's good to have somebody else. Don't get me wrong. I love having a partner. I'm sure you love having your husband, just like we love having our wives. It's great. It's a compliment to each other, right? But it's not one that says I'm better than you, or I could do more than you. No, it's we do things together, and we are a team, and we're going to grow together, and we're going to uplift and upshift each other to that next level. And man, I can go all day about what you just said, and you're awesome. So you definitely answered that right off the tee. You talked about the right things, and I'm gonna stop talking now. I'm on a roll. I'm feeling good, but right?
Yeah, no, I totally agree with you. We're each other's like yin and yang. You know, I'm very headstrong and very passionate. So if I get too involved in something, he'll kind of put up the little yellow light, like, hey, you know, don't forget about this over here, and kind of slow me down or make me think about different ways. But it's a fantastic relationship.
Absolutely. That's fantastic. And we're able to see that. It was great to, again, just be able to jam out in the business setting of the convention, and then somewhat of the party setting of everybody dancing and having a good time. There is so much that we can discuss on the side of whether people of color or women or other in groups that are put on the fringe have different experiences, and these things weren't things that I really noticed too much early in my life, right? We both grew up with very, very strong mothers that we believed could do anything, right? The strongest closer in the world to me is still my mama, right? I mean, I remember trying to bring up a presentation and a way to close her just on the first time we went out to try to get a pair of name brand sneakers. I know my mom was a strong woman everywhere that she walked in. She's a 4'10" loudmouth New Yorker, right? She's not scared of nobody. And then I had my wife, who kind of showed me, you know, kind of helped grow me up, right? In so many aspects. And then raising two incredible daughters to eventually Sophie, and this is just a car guy story, right? I got my daughter, who just got married not too long ago. They went to local dealer who we love and trust, and they went to go trade to upgrade her car, right? Oh, and he was trading out of his. He's been working so hard for the past couple of years on his credit, trying to become just such a beast on credit. He thinks he knows things, and it's awesome. He does know some stuff. Very, very smart young man. And then they say, well, what about you? Right? They do exactly what a salesperson's supposed to do. See, you know, well, you got it. So you are married. Well, let's go ahead and get your spouse on the application. And my daughter's like, well, I mean, I guess I got to go get you my info. And they're like, no, we can get this right here, blah, blah, blah. And she's like, I don't really know if I have credit. She doesn't really understand how much daddy's done to help set her up. And then he's got this lower 700 score. She's above that 750 range. And then they come back and be like, well, we're going to flip it and put it on top. He was sitting there mad. He was mad. He's like, I worked so hard on this. And she was like, I didn't even know I had credit. Oh my gosh.
That's fantastic. You know what? Great job, Daddy. Great job.
Yeah, no.
But those particular moments in life where you don't understand that a lot of times the woman is the stronger one, right? And in most cases inside of the family, the rock of the family is that mama holding it down. And then there's so many people that maybe it's not sitting on a desk, maybe it's not sitting behind a finance desk, maybe it's not necessarily sitting inside of ownership, but yes, it is sitting inside of the office. There's a queen that's running that building and making things churn the way that they're supposed to. And that's what keeps the climate right. Right. Us guys, we're so we're sometimes we can get so beefed up and so prideful that we don't get the chance to listen. We don't get the chance to really build relationships, and we don't get, and that impedes us from being able to learn. And so we honor what women are doing, but we honor how it is that you flow with it. Again, I'm going to keep citing back that marriage part, because that's an incredible asset to have, to be functional in all things that you do. If
Right.
you have a good, solid home base, man, you can go out and you can do anything. But I want to ask you, because car guys and car gals probably want to know, Amanda, what was it that brought you to the auto industry?
It's a good question.
So that's kind of interesting. Totally not even wanting to get into car industry, didn't even have it on my radar. My first degree was in early childhood, so I helped out special needs kids and kids of abuse. And then I left from that and I went and became, I got my degree in EMS, so I became a licensed EMT, and then went and got my paramedic degree. So again, this passion to help people and
That's
whatnot.
it.
While I was going to school, I ended up working in the restaurant industry, like most of us do.
Sure.
And I ended up burning the whole side of my face because I was in the chef side. And that's what pulled me out of everything. I had to not be in the sun and stuff. So I ended up working for this insurance agency, and I was just a front desk girl. But this company owned the insurance side, where it's the car, auto, home, those types of insurance. But they also ran a warranty agency where they were a broker for different companies. So I was able to dabble in both of those. I grew in that company, ended up running both companies while the owner would be out of town or in another country. So I really got to learn. I was able to travel, I was able to train. I tipped my toe in, but I was never fully there.
Right.
So then I left for a little bit and I went and got my retirement license, and I helped out teachers and state employees and police.
Wow.
Again, trying to help them, educate them on their pension, their retirement options. I don't want someone with a blue collar to ever lose money. So we focused on savings that didn't cost them money, savings that isn't going to grow them, $1 million overnight, like stocks and things. But when they put it in there, it's going to grow a little bit more than a bank account. So somehow I ended up coming back into the same company that I was working for, and I had the opportunity to go and do just the dealership side. That was about 3 years ago. Then we had COVID, and I had to take a step back because the kids, they had to stay home from school. And my husband, he's a police sergeant, so he works midnights. So, we had to make sure that the kids got education. So I stayed home. Then in August, the kids went back to school, and I started working again. My husband, again, great partner, he was actually working midnight shift and then doing school until 2. So we would kind of flip-flop, and my mother-in-law took over until I got home. So it was really a lot of family to get us there.
Heck yeah.
And December, it was just a roller coaster. My husband was in a plane crash and nearly died. So we, another step back, but
Yeah, it's a plane crash. Did you hear that, folks? It's a plane crash.
Wow.
yeah,
Whoa.
but he called me right from it, and I guess from his police side, and he's a hostage negotiator, like he has that calm demeanor. So he was able to calm me down, but it took about a month for us to kind of get into some kind of schedule, and it showed me true colors of people and things that so with that, I think it was a good blessing, because I was able to create my company, run it my way. And my drive is my family. My drive is to help others. I mean, I have years upon years of only wanting to help. And I feel that some of the companies that I represent and some of the different products and the niches, that I can help their customer base. I can help that dealership grow. I can help wherever that I can. And I know that I physically am not presenting that to that customer or to that dealership, but it's going to grow and it's going to go all over. And I'm helping moms, I'm helping dads with their kids' first car. Like, I know that my little fingertips are helping all these people, even though I'm not physically doing it. So that's what brought me in. It's kind of a crazy story.
Ooh, what a great story.
Wow, no,
I
that
mean,
was
I just
wow.
watched a movie in my head.
I did just watch a movie. That's a good way of putting it, Lou. That's exactly what just happened. I just watched the movie in my head. You were very descriptive. You brought emotions in there. You let us know some of the good times, the bad times. But you also, at the end of the day, you kept going back to the relationship with you and your husband and how important that is to you. And then the family that's been part of it all. And how crucial and how amazing is that, to have that kind of support. And that's because you built that support. You put yourself, you manifested that, you built that relationship with that family, and you built a good core relationship with that family, and that family takes care of you, you take care of that family, and you guys, it's an everlasting love. And it goes right back to your why, right? And that's what I love about what we're talking about here today. People get into this business for so many different reasons through so many different avenues. So you may be that person that's watching the show right now that may not be in this industry, or somebody that wants to get in this industry, but they just like, man, I don't know. It's a car business. Who wants to get in that? Well, there's great things in this car business. She just talked about, she went to school for helping with childhood development, things like that. Then she went into being an EMS, to be an EMT, to be able to help people. Everything was about helping, getting into the insurance game, helping people who are blue collar to be able to have retirement one day. All these things that she was doing was for value, to help others, to give and give and give. Man, does that translate in the car business better than most people could ever imagine. A lot of us in this industry right now, that's why we need more women in this industry. A lot of people in this industry are here to take. They're not worried about giving, right? But when you come in here and you give and you keep giving, you're going to get back more than you could ever imagine. It may not be monetary sometimes. Sometimes it's going to be the conversations that you have. Sometimes it's going to be the story of hearing somebody that you helped change their life. That to me is worth more than any dollar I make. And when you see these types of things, and when you see somebody like Amanda out there, the president of Dealer Product Solutions, doing her thing, being proud of what she does, being with somebody that's proud of what she does, being part of a family that encourages her to go out and do these things to be able to help her community, help people across the nation, help dealers grow, in turn helps everybody in that community grow. When you have a dealer that knows what they're doing, when you have a dealer that has the right things for their customers, when you have a dealer that understands the process of what needs to happen. And Amanda's doing that so well and so exciting. Thank you for coming in this industry. Yes. We are thankful that you're here. We are so excited that you're just doing your thing. And if you weren't, it wouldn't be as fun. I wouldn't have you here today. I'd be doing no show. But that's important, and as we come along in this business, and as we have these influences, and as we do these things, we have people that push us. We have people that have helped us, lift us up. Sometimes they just gave us a tip. Sometimes they're the ones who held your hand all the way through, like your husband loving you the whole time, and then you loving him right back. Even when he got in a plane crash, he's calling to calm you down, right? That is partnership. That is love. And that's what we have. We have those people along the way that do that. So for you, I just have to ask, in this industry, who has really been that person, or maybe any industry, who is a person in your life that has really helped you make a big pivot to where you had the courage, or maybe gave you the best tip in the world to get you to where you're at today?
Honestly, I'm going to go with 3 people. Sorry.
Okay. Awesome. No, you can give me 20 if you want. It's your show, my friend.
So the first person in this whole world would have been my dad. I met him when I was 5. He got me out of a really rough family situation. And he just kind of took me under his wings. He was into martial arts. So when we had father-daughter time, it was talking sitting on a wall, or it was talking in the hallway, literally climb the wall and you're like in the seated position. And it was our father-daughter time. Maybe a little strange, but it built, that core, it built that foundation. And he told me, no matter what happens, no matter what time of day, if I need to talk to him, he's there. So he really, his mentality kind of set the tone. my maiden name is McFarland. So, you know, when anything was going crazy, he would say, you know, Amanda, you're McFarland. And I have a tattoo
Love
on my shoulder of an eagle from Isaiah, you know, we'll mount up as wings of eagles. And on our 18th birthday, like our family gives out this eagle pendant, but my dad died when I was 13. So I put the eagle on me as always a remembrance of him. And then when he passed, my grandfather kind of took over. And he's not biological, he was my step grandfather. But anytime that I was growing up and I did anything remotely smart in math or science, he was an engineer. He's like, oh, she got my genes. And he's always kind of just pushed
I
me.
love it. I love it.
He helped me get into my first house. He taught me, you know, insurance and things like that. And, you know, he was a great person and he always did that. And then finally, of course, my husband, which ironically shares the same birthday as my grandfather.
Oh, wow.
So I was like, oh, it's kismet, you know. But I met him when I was 12. So right before my father passed, and I met his mom and his dad and his sister. And honestly, like, mom has been my mom since forever. And his sister has been my best friend for forever. So for us to end up at one point, his mom was like, is it just convenient? Like, as a joke, you know? But in reality, I mean, you guys see it. Like, we're meant, we're soulmates.
Yeah,
And
you
he
are.
pushes me and he sees that drive in me. And whenever I kind of slack back, he's like, hey, you know, where's that McFarland in you? And, you know, and
That's so awesome.
he kind of pushes it. So,
I
you
love
know,
that.
those are my three main guys. And yeah, that's my people.
I absolutely love that you brought those three up, and I see exactly why they're the three that you brought up. There's no doubt, and it's powerful. That'll be in with you. Those three will always be in the back of your mind, in the front of your mind, or whatever you want to call it. Anytime you make a decision, anytime you're moving forward, when you have a success, I already know. You know, you can think of your father, your grandfather, your husband. You know, those are just amazing people, and they are so influential in your life. And you know, you're blessed. I'm sorry to hear that your father left the planet a little bit earlier than you probably wanted him to. You know, 13 years old. I'm sure that was tough on you, but at the same time, he's still looking down on you, proud of you. He's still hitting you with that. Where's the McFarlane in you, girl? Let's go, right? And that's why you keep bringing it up, because in the back of your mind, he's always saying that to you.
Oh,
And that
yeah.
is strength. That is love that he left inside you. That is part of his legacy. You are his legacy.
Mm-hmm.
And man, you're just going to keep shining for him. And I know he's smiling down right now, going, man, I'm so proud of her. She's amazing. Look at my baby girl.
Mm-hmm.
And you're doing so great. And you're an amazing young lady. And we're so proud of what you're doing and where you're going. This is just a beginning for you too. That's what I love about it. These are the beginning stories. Things are still happening and things are still brewing and things are going to really percolate to some amazing future for you. And we're so excited to be part of this journey and to hear your story. And this is why I love these shows. Oh, sweetie, you're good.
Mm-hmm.
And you those tears are beautiful. Those are tears of joy and love. And I absolutely love that you're in that
100%.
moment. You're in that moment with them, and that energy, you feel that. You're feeling that because he's there with you right now. He's inside you. He's letting you know that I'm here loving on you, and you're so right on the money. And thank you for honoring me that way. I know he is. But, you know, we're excited to have you here. You know, we're excited to hear this kind of stuff, to have those types of people in your life. You're blessed. You're way blessed. There's a lot of people who don't have that. You know, and so, you know, when you have that, it really feels so good in your heart to know that you could be the best version of Amanda, truly you, a McFarland, just going out there doing their thing and crushing the game and sharing that love. And I love that your husband even says that and puts that in the back of your mind, because even then your father is influencing your husband. And then he knows that and he honors that. It's just cool, that trickle. It just keeps moving and it's just a cycle of love. Great stuff, man. That is a great story.
Powerful stuff.
Oh, my heart's warmed.
There's an identity that gets placed on you by way of the Father. That's why you attain the Father's name. Quite literally, and on the scientific side, the identity is given to you by way of a father from seed to egg, right? Whichever seed it is that reaches the egg, that's, of course, the answer of what sex you'll be. That identity comes from the Father. And I love that you've not only literally tattooed the understanding of the McFarlane on you, but it's tattooed on you, on your heart, inside of your heart, by way of identity in the Father. And folks, I want to be clear about this, that the boldness that she operates in to operate fully as a completely anchored woman that then becomes a great balance to an incredible marriage to her husband, that came by a short time with being identified with her father.
Amen.
And
Yep.
I believe that this is one of the biggest plagues inside of our generations right now. I believe in our society, it's the fatherlessness of the young people, or even people our age, right? A lot of us are still dealing with a little bit of daddy issues if they're in there, right? If we didn't have that relationship with the father, and we didn't have that anchor down, or we don't have a relationship with our heavenly father, we're not properly identified ourselves. It gets kind of weird to squirm around in this world to figure out who it is that we are, because we never had that sealed inside of us. And I love the fact that you had somebody gaze into your eyes and say, hey, you're a McFarland. I don't want to throw an accent on it. I don't know what kind of an accent I want to throw on it, but I want to throw some sort of an accent on it. But you're a McFarland, right? And with that, you found yourself, while continuing to revert back to what daddy said, looking into your eyes. And that is strong. That is so, so strong. And I'm sure that there's been many, many, many hurdles that you have had to overcome inside of your days and inside of the victories that you've attained. So I want to ask you, what inside of your pursuit to where it is that you are now, because as blessed as you are and as blessed as we are, we do have our testimonies of defeat, where we felt defeated and we came back to triumph, right? What has it been that has been the hardest lesson that you had to learn coming up to where it is that you are now?
So yeah, this is a tough question. And I actually sat with my husband last night talking about it to determine how to go about it. Like what would be the best. And you know, he agrees, like honesty is the best policy. So when you're working towards something, when you're striving towards something, there's people that are in your corner. Right. And then there's people that are supporting you that you think that they're in your corner. And at some point, that light comes out and you know who's really there for you and who's not. And I think it cuts a little bit more deeper when it ends up being your blood, you know, when it becomes your family.
Yeah.
But as you guys have seen, like my grandfather, he's not my blood, but he tested me as my blood.
100%.
My husband is not my blood, but he is my blood, you know? And his parents and his sister, they adopted me as if I was their blood. So I have an outside family that is not blood. But I know that those are true supporters. You know, you see the people that have commented this morning. I have true supporters in my corner. Yes. My church group last night was cheering me on. And, you know, I know some of them are in here or they're going to see it later. So I have that support. So the hardest lesson is knowing the genuineness of some people.
Wow. That is so true. I mean, you never know. Like you said, there is some false people out there that state that they're doing these things and that they love you and they care. But the moment that you need them, where are they? Right? You can't even. They won't return. They do the complete opposite of what they seem like they're going to do. That is a lesson that we all need to learn. That is something that is hard to learn sometimes because you care. Us being caring people who love. We think that we get the same kind of reciprocation back. Most of the time you do. Don't get me wrong. There's a lot of great people out there that do some great things that really care and they uplift you and they're there for you. They got your back. They're there with one dial away. If you call them or if you text them or FaceTime them, they will answer. There's a lot of them that don't though. And that's the craziest part. And they front like they will. That's a big time thing to have to learn. But you know, you learn that and you know, and there's times you just go, you know what? I understand that relationship. It is what it is, right? They're there, but they're not there. And I get it. You know, it is not everyone is perfect. You know, none of us are not one. We all have room for improvement, right? But at the same time, that's right. Forgive, focus. Well, you're so right, man. She knows it. She knows it. And that's exactly the way to be is you have to let it go. You have to forgive. But that is a hard lesson to learn too. It's hard to let that go. Sometimes thinking you know, and it's okay to love them more than they love you. That's something else we have to learn. You know, we as people don't have to love people because they love us. Love everyone if you can. Be the best version of you. I love that you brought up being at a church group. And I think that's what we talk about a lot when you are somebody who goes to church, or anybody who has any kind of faith. It doesn't matter whether it's God or faith in the universe or faith in, karma, or faith in whatever that you have faith in. Faith is something that isn't tied to just religion. Faith is believing in something that you cannot see. Faith is believing in something that is impossible for you to prove 100%, right? And that's what we have to have with each other. That's what you have to have with others, with the future, with everything that's going on. We are all using faith to do that. And faith is a beautiful thing, but with every bit of faith comes work, and we learn that. We learn to work through things, and we learn to work through other people's misguided selves, and we're misguided. To other people, we may do something that seems that way, even though we're not meaning it that way. So we learn from that too. So that is a great lesson. And I'm glad you shared that with us, and thanks for being so transparent about it, because it's true. You are right on the money. I love how you answered that, and I think that I love how you said. And my husband said that truth. I love it's great conversations that you're having with your husband and with us and sharing. And it is so true. If you lead with honesty, and if you always are that way, whether it's good or bad, especially when it's bad, just be honest. People respect that. They'd rather hear, oh, I can't do that, or I don't have the capability, or, I'm just not that person, or whatever, instead of being like, oh, I could do it and you can't, right? Or I'm going to be there and you won't. And those things are so crucial to everyone, especially when you're raising young people that are coming up. They see you as a parent, which is like a leadership role, right? Matter of fact, 100%, it is a leadership role. And when they see that, they look at it and they see you do little white lies. What do you think they're going to do? They're going to do little white lies. So why do that? Always lead with honesty, and then you're showing by osmosis your children, like, look, this is how you do it. You don't, even if it's wrong. I mean, even if it feels like, oh, this really stinks, this is the worst situation, it's okay. Like hitting a bunch of mailboxes in a bunch of buckets. Lou knows what I'm talking about. But that being said, that's a great answer, and I think that it's really, really crucial for people to understand that.
There's something that you said there, and that's a key that actually I would like to make sure that people that are listening on the podcast, when they hear it on that, and that are watching right now, that I would, and this is just conversation again. As much as we're here to interview you and get some of the good stuff out, we're just having a cup of coffee and a conversation. We're trying to stay relaxed and energized all at the same time, right? But there's something that you said there, and that is a hard lesson to learn.
Yep.
When you find out that the people that you believed, you had certain thoughts, preconceived thoughts about what their motives were and about what they were about, right? And what they were going to do for you. And this is the thing that I want to release from anybody having to be too concerned about. It is not our position in the world ever to consider what somebody else's motive is. I want to take that off your plate, everybody. It's not our job to do that. The Bible even says that. We barely even understand our own motives. That's biblical, okay? And so for us to get wrapped up in being considerate about what another person's motive was to us will get us lost in the sauce, totally lost in the sauce, because we can get paralysis, right? We can get stuck there, because we can then say, well, if this person acted that way and this is how that relationship started, I am not going to go to the next level because this could happen to me again, right? Mm-hmm. And that part is why it's so important that we do exactly what you just said. Make sure to forgive, focus, and fly. I can't have any control, nor do I have any accountability for what these other people did to me, right? I've been wrong. Fred's been wrong. You've been wrong. And you know what? That didn't stop us from pursuing. That didn't stop us from getting up and going after it. Nor did it stop us from loving somebody else, from helping somebody else, from trusting somebody else. We want to hope that every seed that we sow is going to come back and it's going to yield great harvest. And every now and then, weeds are going to find their way to suck out some of the life that's growing from what's coming. That's why it's important for us to say, oh, wait a minute. Now we did. Okay, so this is actually deadly to me. There's fruit of what's hurting me. I need to yank that out of my life so that I can produce more fruit. And another part is there is a pruning that happens even to our lives in the places that are fruitful. I want you guys to dial back in on that if you're listening. There are places in our life that are fruitful that need to be cut back. This is biblical also. And these things that need to be cut back is so that you can produce more fruit, right? So that you can do more with what you're given. So sometimes those relationships inside of your life that maybe you thought were intended to help take you to the next level and that you felt were right, sometimes those relationships or relationships that don't even belong there, that's your heavenly Father cutting things off of your life that are impeding you from that further growth, right? Sometimes like an orange tree or an apple tree, right? Those are big, heavy fruits. 2 years into their growth, it may look really awesome that you're already getting an orange, but it's going to break the tree. It's going to break it. It's not time for it to have that type of a fruit yet. And although that looks like a cool, great relationship and everybody's excited, nope, it's not time for that yet. And sometimes that's what ends up happening. Those things get plucked off of our life to go yield fruit and to go build elsewhere so that you can blossom out into what it is that you're created to be. So I challenge you all, do not get held up worried about other people's motives, right? You find out on the end, oh man, that's a hard lesson. I found out that's not who it was that's with me. But I love the tenacious attitude that you have that still says, I'm still going after it. And you know what? I'm still going to live a blessed life. And it's not going to stop me from loving my husband, my husband loving me. And I'm going to go love and continue to serve other people. This is the thing that people like you that are committed to loving and serving other people need to continue showing other people, hey, I've been bumped, I've been bruised, I've been cut, and I've been used, I've been like totally misused, but I still love serving people. That's still the most fulfilling thing to me. I still love helping people. That's still the most joyous thing for me. And inside of that, that's where you still gain your victory. So I honor you inside of that, and I'm so thankful that you keep doing that. But you're a McFarland, and McFarlands, right? Hold it down, right? They're not going to let other people that show themselves to be less than what they are capable of being, because I still believe those people have redemption opportunities as well, right? They can get better too. The word says to pray for your enemy, right? So I pray that people would really take that in and understand. Don't worry about other people's motives, man. You'll get yourself all caught up inside of a place you don't need to be lost in. Don't even worry necessarily about yours. Focus on where it is that you're going and go there. And you're going to get the bumps and bruises, but like Amanda, you're going to eventually find yourself winning.
Right. No doubt about it. And that's speaking of winning, and that's a good toss up to that. You know, we've talked about your hardest lesson learned, and I love that, you know, and we obviously had a lot to talk about on that too, because that's a big point, what you just said. And I love that you're talking about those types of things, is understanding that, you know, it's okay to be that way, but learning that you understand that's going to happen, that people are going to be there and not really be there. So you can't rely on anyone else but what you do. You have to focus on yourself, make sure you're doing what you're supposed to do. And what other people do, forgive it. Like she said earlier, forgive it. So let's talk about the next question I have for you. And the next question ties right into that. You know, of all these things that you've been through, we've talked about your why, your family, your amazing family, your husband, your father, your grandfather, everybody that's been part of it, the people that have come along the way. We've talked about obviously what got you in this industry, which we're so thankful that you came in this industry. You always had a servant mind. You always have a servant heart. You always wanted to help people. And that's why it translates so well to automotive, and why you're going to do so amazing if you just keep that same mentality. And you know that. Thirdly, we talked about, obviously, you know, the people that have been influenced. We just like your wives, your husband, your grandfather, your father, you know, these amazing people that have really blessed you with strength in here, confidence in here, and love, right? Which are so important. And then we talked about, obviously, this hardest lesson learned. The last question I have for you today is, what is the greatest reward that you've had up to this point for all the work that you put in?
So, as you know, my company is relatively new, but the greatest reward is the friendships and the relationships that I've gained. Because of COVID, Clubhouse was formed. And because of Clubhouse, I found you guys. I found, you know, automotive, which I didn't even know we had a group. I found my niche. Like I found true friends between you guys and LinkedIn and Facebook. I mean, I am so blessed. I have people literally across the country. I have friends now in Australia in this industry. And it's truly my greatest reward, because we're learning from each other. we're helping each other. We're seeing each other grow. I mean, you and I are in a group, and you guys focus more on, hey, Amanda, post more often. Be more consistent and whatnot. And I have been, and I emulate that, and I'm learning from you guys in this social space, which I'm a very analytic person. So that is very challenging for me, but I'm rewarded because, I get
Yes.
you guys saying, hey, great job. You're rocking it. Or, we get the famous boom from Mr. Santa Claus himself. Like we are so blessed. And I feel so rewarded by you guys, to be honestly, like that is the truth. Like, I don't even know where I would be 7 months ago, 8 months ago without this. I definitely wouldn't have been a digital dealer. I promise you that. But to be able to come into a space where I feel already welcomed, it's fantastic. And I have lifelong friends because of it.
It's all the work, everything you've done. This whole story we talked about, how you got in this business, the people that influenced you, the confidence you got, your father, your husband, your grandfather, the whole everything to get to this level. This greatest reward, I thank you for honoring us like that. There's so many great people. Santa Claus, I love that. But that being said, there's a shout out, Justin. So anyway, that being said, we definitely, we love what you're talking about here. You're 100% right, and your heart is so in the right place. When you say this, it's a blessing to see those types of things. It's a blessing to see that type of thing be talked about in this business. And you're right. I'm glad that you were a digital dealer. I don't, honestly, who knows? We can never know. If you never got in Clubhouse, if you didn't do all this, where you would be today. We could say maybe you wouldn't have trickled. My guess is, honestly, you'd be a lot further along than you think. You're giving a lot of credit to a lot of people. We appreciate that, but you need to give more credit to yourself, because you are amazing. You're awesome. If I was to say, one thing that I think is great about you is that you have stamina and endurance, and you're not one that's to be scared of being put into a challenge. And, that's something that I love. Most people, they hear this advice, do these videos, be more consistent, and yet they don't do it, and there's something inside them. They know it'll work. They know it's going to help them, but at the same time, it takes work. It's nerve-wracking. It's people looking at your videos. Oh, and then are they looking at my videos? It's all of it, right? So it's so much. But what I was to give one tip to everybody is, don't worry about the looks, don't worry about the likes, don't worry about any of that, because there's more people that are going to reach out to you that never liked your post that tell you, man, I really appreciate what you do. And you're like,
I'm secretly stalking.
I'm secretly.
I
hear that a lot.
Yes.
And you're like, thank you. And that's okay. And that's why I never worried about my likes. I never worried about how many people viewed my thing. I just know that it's impacting. If it impacts one person, if it impacts Amanda that day that she watches my video, that's giving some kind of quick tip, and she's like, yeah, I love that tip. That matters to me. That's it. Just one person. If it did that, that's why it was worth me doing it today. It doesn't cost me anything to put posts out there. It takes my time. And, time is money. Don't get me wrong. But at the end of the day, I'm giving. So I'm going to give my time to be able to get back some time, and there's going to be people that reach out. There's going to be people who don't reach out. But at the end of the day, you're really helping people. And that is a great reward. And what you're doing right now, to me, is a great reward, that you're here on our show, that you're here sharing your story, that you're sharing your heart, that you're telling people of a path. You don't have to be direct related to the car business, folks. You can come by way of multitude of things. She was educating herself on a lot of different things. That tells me, like you talked about, analytical, no doubt. With what you did at first, you were very analytical, but you're beyond analytical. You're more than that. When you think about what you tried to do, you love people. It's not just sitting behind something, knowing numbers and being able to figure out things and figure it out. You also are about that moment. There's spontaneous moments when you're dealing with people. If you're an EMT, if you're somebody helping children, if you're doing insurance, every situation, much like a car deal, is a snowflake. Even if it's similar, it's still slightly different. So you have to be able to mold to that. So you're beyond analytical, my friend. You're amazing is what you are. And you're doing amazing things out there. You're honoring your father. You're honoring your husband. You're honoring your children. And you're honoring this industry right now. So we appreciate you for doing that. I appreciate your love. Now, folks, here's the deal. We're gonna keep rolling, but I want you guys to know the best way to get a hold of her. And I got it right here. And I want you guys to see this. This is her cell phone number. If you ever want to just reach out to her, you have a question about what her products do and all those things. Matter of fact, I want you to talk about what exactly you do here in a second, but that's her cell phone number. You can always call that number, email, or excuse me, text it or whatever. And then there's her email address right there, folks. Reach out to her. She's doing some amazing things. She is trying to help this industry become better, but most importantly, she's trying to help you become the best version of yourself with her products and what she has through her knowledge. Looking at it through different lenses, folks. She's diverse. She comes from a different world. You know, she didn't sit at a dealership for 20 years and stuck on only selling cars a certain way. She understands that there's different levels to everything, but this is a people business, folks. And you have to understand people, and boy, does she understand people. So let's talk about your business really quick. That was our 5-liner, folks. That was a lot of fun, but let's talk about Dealer Product Solutions. Tell us a little bit about that.
So we are a general agency, and we help different dealerships, either the finance office or the service drive center, have different products that they can offer their clients. I also do the training. We have it online. I have it in person. We're all over the US. There is no vehicle that I cannot cover. So I don't care if it's a $5 million car or a $5,000 car, if it's wheel and tire, if it's a warranty. We have everything, and we have all 8 rated carriers. And I have some niche products that I really like, unlimited battery, unlimited key. You only need 1 key for it, which is really cool. And then we have a solution for the dealerships that allows them to have lot management at no cost, and then they can retail it to their customer with however much. There's not a filed rate, even in the state of Florida, which we're very special down here.
Yes, you are. Very special.
So they can retail it. It's all over the US. There's no wiring, and it's completely wireless. It's battery operated. So it's very easy to get in and out of the car. So I pride myself in finding those little nichey things that's going to help out the dealership. And then when it comes to training, I love that. Like, that is my passion.
I love it.
I can install all day, and I can say, okay, here's what it does. But why I chose this product, and why you and your GM or your managing partner decided that this is the product that's going into your store, let me teach you that. That is when it brings in that passion, because your sales team, your finance team, or your service drive team are going to feel that passion too. So that's a little bit about me and why I do this part. It's fun.
There's no doubt. It sounds exciting, and I love that you went to the why. Because we have products, but why are we selling this product, and why is it a value to your customer, and why is it a value to you for your customer, right? And being able to train them on that. Oh, you're so smart, Amanda. Seriously, that is exactly how you do it. You don't just sell a product. This is the product you're buying. These are the tips on how to sell it. No. Let's talk about the passion behind this product. Let's talk about why you could be passionate about this to your clients. Genius. And that's exactly the way we need to train people. That's exactly the way we need to do it. Not just in their product, but in their life. Why? Why is so important. That's why I start with that first question. Why? It's as simple as that. There's so many different whys. You said your family is your why. I love that. But, we all have, that's the big why. There's like that big picture why. What it really moves me every day. But then you have the small whys. You got to have the little whys here and there. Every once in a while you're sitting there and you're like, why do I need to do this right now? Right? So why I say, because I said I was going to do it, and I'm that type of person, right? And there's so many reasons why you have to figure out what pushes you to keep doing things you feel uncomfortable doing. And I love that you're talking about that with salespeople and with their management, because that is so crucial. Why did your company get this product in your store? This is why. Because this is what's going to do for your customers. And why does it help them? And you just keep going with that. I love that. You are right on point. You understand. You are on trend, as they call it, right? So you were definitely trending. You are trending, and you know what's going on. You obviously have a great mind on how to help people develop what they needed to be able to do to be able to push a product. I shouldn't say push it, sell a product, right? Help a product get into clients' doors, right? Into their cars, into their contracts. But no, amazing. Thank you for sharing that with us. Is there any final things you want to say before we get out of here today, Amanda?
Thank you guys so much for having me. I am floored and blessed by y'all. So thank you. Thank you for everybody that supported me online as well.
Throw the Steven comment out here. He really lit you up with some love. Said, I really appreciate and respect when leaders focus their unique contributions on raising up the people and industry they love beyond just what they do for a living. Amanda is clearly an awesome representation of that type of leadership.
Dang.
Woo!
Oh, wow.
Man,
Thank you,
that's
Stephen.
love.
That is, but he's right. That's
So
exactly, if I was, that's pretty much what I would say.
What he said. What
he just said right there. I mean, he writes it nicer than I
Yes.
would, but he definitely, he hit the essence of it. And that's exactly who you are. You are that servant leader that is doing things differently, that is showing a bright light for this industry and for everyone that you touch. Seriously, you always make me smile every time I see you. Anytime you comment on my post, I want you to know
There's my
I appreciate
pastor.
Hey,
what's up? What's going on, Pastor Daryl? What's going on, man? Yeah, thank you for being here this morning. God bless. Yeah, take care. Yes, we appreciate you for being here and supporting her. You know, it's amazing. And that's what it's about. It's about the community all coming together to shift and uplift each other, whether you're automotive or not. We're all automotive. If you drive a car, you're automotive. So understand that we're all here for you. So, man, what a great show today, folks. Once again, you see her number down there. If you're a dealer, if you're a salesperson, if you're anybody that's needing some whys in their life, holler at her. She knows what's going on. She has a lot of great products that she mentioned a moment ago that she could definitely help you out with. If anything, if you're somebody in the industry that just needs somebody to uplift and upshift, I'm telling you, she can do that also. We're here for you too. This is a team, folks. We are the certified solutionaries, and we are here to change this game up right now. And with people like Amanda on our team, people like Amanda on that, coming out in that starting five, going out there high five and ready to shoot some jumpers. She's going to kill it for you guys. And we're going to hit some 3-pointers, and we're going to make sure that we win this game. So let's have some fun together. Let's grow together, and let's know together, and let's go together. So I love that, man. This has been a great day, great morning. Amanda, you're an amazing blessing to the automotive industry and to us as friends. Yes. So thank you for being here.
So thankful that you're
Thank
in
you,
here.
guys.
So we're going to jam out as we head out. So excited that you were here today. Again, thank you everybody that's been joining us, from Jacqueline to Daryl to the LinkedIn and Facebook users that are unidentified at the moment. We will find you later and give you a like and a thank you for commenting and being part of the show. Folks, if you want to get more of the Car Guy Coffee podcast, make sure that you go to www.carguycoffee.com and you can listen to all the solutionaries that got something to say, and we can have a better day. I'm not gonna rhyme, I'm just here to play. But anyway, goodbye, have a good day. Give, focus, fly, keep growing. Give, focus, fly, keep growing. Amanda, so thankful that you're here. I am Lou Ramirez, the car guy.
And I'm Frelin Arts, the guy who's sitting here listening to this MC get down on the mic.
And we have been brewing solutions on the Car Guy Coffee podcast with our friend Amanda Sorrell.
McFarland. We love you guys. Peace out. Have a great day. Go out and do your stuff, folks. Love you guys.
Thanks. Have a good one.
Hey, you too. We'll see you in a moment.